Imagine you're trying to push a car, but you don't realize the brakes are on. You're pushing as hard as you can, your muscles are working, you're giving it everything you've got. But try as you might, the car doesn't move. So eventually you start to think, why isn't this working? What's wrong with me? The problem wasn't that you weren't trying hard enough. The problem was that something was causing resistance. And until the brakes come off, pushing harder isn't going to get the car moving. And I think this is how many of us approach productivity. We think the answer is applying more discipline or pushing harder. But what if pushing harder is actually increasing resistance? What if the thing getting in the way isn't a lack of motivation? What if it's actually your brain trying to protect you from something? In this video, I'm going to share 3 ways of understanding resistance and share with you some tips and tricks to help reduce procrastination without forcing yourself to get things done. Have you ever had something on your to-do list that feels impossible to start? Maybe you've sat down, you have a clear plan, you've written your to-do list and you know what you need to do to get started. But suddenly, half an hour's gone by, you've been checking your phone, reorganizing your desk, doing anything else except getting started on that one thing. And the problem here isn't that you don't know what to do. The problem is there's something inside us saying, I don't want to do this. I don't feel ready. And when we ignore these messages, we're often actually creating more resistance to the task. And so instead of asking ourselves, how can I just force myself to do this? What we need to do is ask ourselves, what is this resistance trying to tell me? This first change might feel surprisingly uncomfortable because it's about doing the opposite of what we normally do. Instead of fighting resistance, we're going to be curious about it. Have you ever opened your laptop to write an important email, but then 10 minutes has gone by and you realize you're scrolling your phone, you're cleaning the kitchen? When we procrastinate this way, we can very quickly start to feel frustrated with ourselves. We might think, why am I doing this again? Why can't I just start? To improve our productivity, the goal isn't about becoming a better judge of ourselves. Most of us are pretty good at that already. Instead, our goal is to become a detective. A good detective would look at a procrastination crime scene and look for clues to try to figure out what's happened. They might ask, is there overwhelm here? Is there fear of failure, fear of rejection? Maybe there's boredom, fatigue, exhaustion. And this is the key difference here. Sometimes it's not the task that's the problem. It's the feelings that are attached to the task. And if we apply this to that email that we were putting off, maybe you already know what to write and how to write it, but maybe what's slowing you down is a fear of rejection once you send that email. Maybe it's about a fear of vulnerability because you need to ask for help. Or maybe you need to set a boundary, and that's hard too. And so as you can see, once we become the detective, we can start to respond to the real factors that are slowing us down. And so if you notice yourself procrastinating and you want to try something new, I've got a little experiment for you to try. Next time you sit down, pause for 30 seconds. Instead of asking yourself the usual questions like, why am I so lazy? Why can't I just start? Let's try asking, what is my procrastination trying to protect me from? What difficult thoughts or feelings are showing up when I try to do the task? So let's say you've become the detective and you've realized that your resistance is overwhelm, fear of failure, and exhaustion. You might be wondering, well, what do I do next? The next step might feel a little bit backwards. What we're going to do is, instead of pushing through or pushing past those feelings, we're going to tune in to those feelings. Think about the last time you didn't want to start something. What were you telling yourself? Were you thinking, stop being so lazy, just start already? Or what's wrong with me? We've become really good at ignoring our feelings. And this is a problem because our feelings often give us some really important information. Our feelings often carry a purpose, a need, a function. And so we need to start listening to our feelings rather than ignoring them. If the feeling is fear, maybe you don't need more pressure. Maybe you need reassurance. If the feeling is overwhelm, this might not be your brain saying, I can't do this task. Maybe it's just saying it feels too big. Or if you're feeling exhausted, maybe productivity isn't the priority right now. Maybe rest is. Often the fastest way through resistance isn't by ignoring it, it is by listening to it. Because when we feel understood, even when it's by ourselves, we're much more open to giving things a go and taking those first few steps. And so if you'd like to try this approach, the next experiment might sound a little bit unusual, but bear with me. The next time you notice yourself procrastinating or avoiding, I want to invite you to tune in to how you're feeling and almost imagine those feelings can talk. And we're going to ask them, what do you need? What will you like? Or what might help right now? So, imagine that you've done everything we've talked about so far, and yet it still is feeling challenging to get started. The final piece of the puzzle is working with our nervous system. Sometimes the final obstacle isn't just what's happening in your mind, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Sometimes it's the state that your body's in. One way psychologists think about this is through our nervous system. Put simply, it's the state that our mind and body are in. Sometimes our mind and body can feel overactivated, where we might feel restless, fidgety, energized. Sometimes we can feel underactivated, flat, tired, lethargic. Have you ever sat down to work, but you're feeling really restless? You're feeling fidgety, your body wants to move, and maybe your mind is jumping from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And all the while, everything is feeling really urgent. If this is the case, this isn't necessarily a motivation problem. It might be your nervous system is just too activated. And when our nervous system is activated, it can feel really hard to simply focus and concentrate on the task at hand. And so in this situation, our body might need a little bit of help slowing down. And we can do this through a few different things. We might practice some grounding, some deep breathing. We might even do some gentle stretching or using our senses to slow us down through gentle scents, sounds, music, and dim lighting. Other days, it might be the opposite, where you sit down to work and you just feel flat, foggy, lethargic. Maybe you can't generate the thoughts that you want to. And if this is the case, what we don't need is more help calming down. We might be underactivated here, and so what our body really needs is some help waking up. And so to do this, rather than drinking your fourth coffee of the day, we might wake our body up by doing some gentle exercise. Maybe we do some star jumps, maybe we do some jogging on the spot, maybe you go for a brisk walk outside. You could work in a different environment, perhaps go to a cafe with a bit more stimulation around you. You could work standing up. We often assume the answer is always to relax or calm the body down, but that's often not the case. Sometimes what our body really needs is some help coming online. And so if you'd like to try this approach, your final experiment for the week is, before you sit down to tick off those to-do list items, Check in with your body for about 60 seconds and ask yourself, does my body need some help calming down and settling, or does my body need help waking up? Next time resistance shows up for you, rather than pushing through and judging yourself, take a moment to pause, become the detective. Be curious about the resistance that's showing up. Tune in, ask those feelings. What do you need? What might help? What would you like? And tune into your body and give your body that support by either calming it down or waking it up in preparation for the task at hand. Productivity doesn't have to always feel like a battle. If we can slow down, tune in, and meet our needs, we might find that we often have a much greater capacity than what we realized. Today we focused on what to do when resistance shows up. But where does resistance come from in the first place? If you're interested, I'd love for you to watch my next video talking about why procrastination isn't necessarily a discipline problem. Thanks so much for watching today. If you liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Bye for now.